Nestled inside Yaba local government area of Lagos State, Makoko is one of many water and coastline settlements. It is a slum that is said to have existed for over 100 years. It is flanked on the left by the University of Lagos, to the right the main business district of the state, and right in front of it the third mainland bridge, the longest bridge in Africa and one of 3 bridges linking Lagos Island to the mainland. This is the road that leads to our destination. The smelly gutter and shanty homes tell more of the neighborhood we are entering. Of course, Makoko's reputation precedes it, so we are leaving nothing to chance. Our first visit is to the local chief, Albert Ayinde. Baale Jeje, as he is known here, is the head of the fishermen on Sandfield land in Makoko. He was born in Makoko and he seldom travels.
Thanks to the Olaiya family who allowed us to settle here after we left Ilubirin Okesuna on the island. Our ancestors met the matriarch of the family and we were allowed to settle. I was born here, I married and bore my children here. The only difficulty we face is that the government said it will help us rehabilitate the area, but we have seen nothing. The drains are bad and there is no job for our youth.
For our trip into the area, Baale Jeje asked his son Tolu to guide us. We begin our walk on boats constructed as bridge over the garbage. There are many commercial wooden boats with anxious paddlers, the majority of whom are teenagers, waiting to ferry back their passengers to the slimy water neighborhood. It is one of the most difficult journeys on water, as we keep trying to avoid the filthy water splashing on us after seeing fresh excreta and garbage trailing our boats. You probably see it every day on your way to work or once in a while when you visit the island. Welcome to Makoko, the Venice of Lagos. Some say it is the bane of the Lagos State Megacity project, but to some of those who live in this area, this is the only place where the dreams can be realized. As the boat moves farther in, we are faced with the reality of this environment. Makeshift wooden structures raised between 4 feet and 6 feet above water level in their unique slummy and riverine architecture. There are many people who are not just Nigerians, but a conglomerate of cultures and languages of the whole West African coast. Togolese, Cameroonians, Ghanaians, and Gabonese people live here, side by side with the Egun fishing families from Badagry in Lagos, the Ilajes of other states in southwest Nigeria, and the Ijos of the Niger Delta region. The chaotic maze of wooden houses built on water is considered one of the city's liveliest neighborhoods. Much of Makoko rests on structures constructed on stilts above Lagos Lagoon. But survival is challenging because of the continuing changes in weather conditions, such as increasing water levels, strong tidal currents, and of course human-induced challenges of environmental pollution, like excreting in the water, as well as the disposal of dirty and harmful substances in the water. In fact, the water serves different purposes. It is a waste dump, lavatory, market, and passageway. Many residents operate boat shops that float through the neighborhood, from which they sell a variety of items. You can buy just about anything from these boats. A sawmill buzzes with activity, while boats ferry everything from traditional medicine to food, as the pilots, sometimes children, pull them atop water as black as night. Houses are made from thatch, bamboo, scrap wood, and Hessian sacks. Every family owns a boat, the only means of transportation here. The water also serves as coolant in times of heat for the community. Every rubbish from these homes is thrown into the water and carried away into the sea. Despite the frighteningly poor sanitation in Makoko, some residents talk with pride of how the waterfront climate strengthens them. Many of the men who live here are fishermen, taking their canoes out into the lagoon in the shadow of the city to cast nets, then handing their catch over to their wives who sell them. As we meander through the streets and alleys of Makoko, some pretend not to notice us, some are friendly, while others go hidely hide their contempt. But for our guide, we will have been harassed or extorted. Notwithstanding, some still believe we have come to film them in order to collect money from the government or some foreign donors. One of the 6 local chiefs said many times individuals have visited to film, collected data, and promised to come back, but never returned. But there have been some exceptions. Children Christian Academy was donated to the community by a couple on a religious mission to the area. While children learn here on weekdays, some Christians in the community gather here on Sundays for their weekly worship service. It is one of the few schools donated to the neighborhood. All the day-to-day expenses of the schools are paid for by NGOs and concerned individuals.
School to amazing.
The salary of the teacher in the school here is paid by a white couple. The other school is also built by white people. The people belong to the yacht club. The one here was built when the white couple noticed that the children had no place to learn. That was why I allocated the space they are using now to them. The couple are the ones paying the teachers. You can see that the children are learning. We want the government to build schools for us. There is no school on the Waterside.
Citizens of the community still smile despite their poor standard of living. With the changing weather patterns, these people also worry about meeting their daily business targets. Now they have to wait longer and row farther for their catch. But it appears the people here may be losing on all fronts. The majority of residents here have only heard of their homeland. They have never been there. Their only home is Makoko. Meanwhile, the state government is putting finishing touches to its plans for the waterfront. With dwindling fortunes, they also have to cope with uncertainty regarding their continuous stay in the area. Environmentalists argue the people here are helping to reduce carbon emissions with their lifestyle, but everyone agrees that the state of their homes is an eyesore. They know it and they say they are willing to change.
The government wants to make the city better, but we want assurances. If they asked us to build the clean area and rebuild our homes, we will definitely do that. We know that if we ask them to build the community for us, it would be an opportunity to take the area from us and sell to the wealthy. So if the government could say, you residents of Makoko should clean up the area within 2 or 3 years, we will do it. You know, because they keep saying we will chase you out of here, we have no peace of mind. Just a little while ago, we demolished the houses built under the power line. But in Bariga, the government destroyed people's homes. With this step taken by the government, all of us fishermen do not have peace of mind. We expect the government to take care of us because we are also working. All the fish we catch are taken to the market, and we are also contributing to the economy of the state. The government instead is punishing us despite all of this.
In an era when the price of land is increasing daily, the people of Makoko do not buy land to own a home here. What one needs is to find an open space, speak to the elders, and if this is approved, the price is to buy drinks for the elders, and then you have your piece of space. Even with this arrangement, many here still cannot afford building one due to lack of space. This family consists of more than 10 members. The patriarch of the house says there are 23 people living here, but we counted 12. He is housing his brother, whose house had been demolished in late 2011. They are delighted that we stopped by and welcomed us into their home. This is the master bedroom. The other room is for the children.
We were told that we would be relocated, and we were very surprised. We asked, where is this directive from? Because if the government was planning to relocate us, we need to know their plans. They also need to tell us well before time that by so and so year, those of you on government land will be asked to leave or be relocated. But we have heard nothing like that. The news of demolition was sudden. When they saw that we had nothing, they brought people and demolished our homes. This is my brother. His house has been demolished. That is why he is here with us.
The Lagos State government is sounding a note of warning that this settlement will be demolished.
Bariga, Makoko too will have to be cleared. See, all those areas, I describe them as NFA, no fixed address for anybody. You're not supposed to live on the lagoon. Lagoon is there for everybody to enjoy. You can fish there, but you must have somewhere you call home that you go back to. When we have visitors into our country, majority of them go and reside on the island. The second they climb that bridge, you can imagine what they'll be thinking of our state by all those shanties on the water.
With this planned demolition, thousands will be displaced from here. Whether we go, they cannot say, but they also have a plan for the area. They have claimed some part of the lagoon and they intend to clean up the area if given the permission to stay.
In Makoko today, but our people have been displaced. They sleep under the bridge, on the planks, because their homes were demolished. We do not know what to do, and the next thing to do depends on the government. We are pleading that the government should let us stay here. We are fishermen. We also help the government. Because if we do not fish, what will the people eat?
The people here are complaining that they have no public schools, health centers or water. The few schools and water borehole here are provided by Christian missions as well as local and foreign donors. The state government says it is not ready to encourage people to continue to stay here, hence no provision of basic amenities.
If they ask us not to fish, we will do any job they provide for us. What we need is for them to announce that there is a job outside here and good enough to feed our children and wives. Immediately they provide this and ask us not to fish, we will comply. But they must not destroy our jobs, because that is our source of revenue.
Let me say that I feel for the people living in Makoko. Seriously, honestly, I feel for them because I've been there so many times. And just this Saturday, I did a part of my environmental sanitation exercise at Makoko with the chairman and the council officials. And but we cannot remove that from the fact that most of the buildings there do not have government approval.
The building of water.
The building of water, and they are not even supposed to be there in the first place. They are not supposed to be there in the first place. But because of the fact that successive governments have failed, particularly the military government have failed in their responsibility in providing, houses for the people, which this present government is trying to correct, houses for the poor and all of that. That has caused people to really move, they have to cater for themselves. And there is no process of checking and controlling the influx of people to that place. Now that the government has taken it upon itself to relocate them, I'm very sure that we have a very good place that we are taking them to. But it's equally important to mention that you cannot use illegality to correct an illegality. If we say people are not supposed to be in a particular place, what you can provide for them are temporary reliefs, like the one I mentioned earlier, like taking the medical outreach to them on a regular basis. You cannot go and construct, a permanent building on a place that has not been approved for such. All right? But I make this with all sense of responsibility that I was there on Saturday and I saw the network of roads that have been done by the local governments and the states, and I was impressed. But then, the people too, they have a duty to keep their surroundings clean. There are schools very close neighbor, very close to that place. I know that there is a school, for example, immediately before you get to Unilag, by Apulejesha, there's a school, there's a primary school somewhere around Onike, and Onike is just a boundary community with Makoko. There's a primary school, very good one for that matter.
The problem is that our children don't like leaving the community because of the roads and because of riots or fights. If they were asked to go to school out of here, they would jump into the water and cry that life outside the area is dangerous. All our children sent to school outside refused to attend until the schools donated to us were built. They attend the schools here for about 4 years before we encourage them to attend schools on the land.
The plans of the state government for the area are unclear, and the people of Makoko are skeptical.
We prefer to be killed with guns to being relocated from here. There is nowhere that will be like where we were born in Makoko. There is nowhere they will take us to in the whole of Lagos that will be like Makoko because we are close to the island. We take our fish to various places. Ilubirin has been relocated. There is no one there. Only touts are there. Fishermen only live close to the sea, so we can monitor the weather and know the right time to fish. If we are taken inland, how can we monitor the lagoon? We have no other occupation but this.
But daily they wait. They wait for the time when their stay here will be over. They are also trying all they can to lead a meaningful life, despite all odds. They are also waiting, hoping that in the nearest future, the government, private sector, and concerned international agencies will come with help. They are also pleading that some will see that they are different. Many outsiders agree with them that Makoko is certainly different. It may be tough, but it has life. It is unique and lively. Many say all it takes is to see beyond the grime and transform the area into a commercial and entertainment hotspot on the lagoon. Makoko is surrounded by sawmills and seafood, so there is an economic foundation to start off. With a well-planned investment in infrastructure and cottage industry, they believe the socio-economic juice will start flowing.
We'd love to hear from you. Do you have a comment or questions? Do send them to us by email on file@channelstv.com.